I got a quick one. I think, bold prediction, April we get the owner. I think the first move the new owner makes is extend Adrian Morejon 5 years, $70 million.
5 years.
I think that's the first move that our new owner makes. I know it's bold, and that's why I wanted to see, hopefully the chat doesn't give me too much grief, but I love Adrian Morejon. I think he's extremely valuable. Having Adrian Morejon and Mason Miller for the next 3 years would be extremely valuable. It's not like Adrian Morejon. It's not like we're paying, Wandy Peralta this contract. He's 27, 28 years old. You get his entire career. One awesome thing about Adrian Morejon, too, he's a true Padre, man. Sign him out of Cuba in that huge international free agent signing class. He's been up and down. He's been hurt. He's been a starter. He's been in El Paso. Is he a bust? Is he this or that? He finds his role. From all accounts, Ruben's like a second father to him. He wants to be a San Diego guy. You could tell with his social media presence and how the Padres interact with him on social media. He's the kind of guy you root for. He's a fan favorite. So I think the easiest way for whoever the new owner to be to instantly get in the good graces is extend a guy like that. Because it's not like you're extending some scrub. You're extending one of the best relievers in baseball who wants to be a San Diego Padre. So that's my hot take.
I love Adrian Morejon for all the reasons that you said. He's just a great kid, man. He's going to be a free agent next year. I haven't talked to Adrian about it, but I think he'd scoff at that deal. I think he wants to be a Padre, but I think that, like, Adrian Morejon, let's say he puts together another year like he did last year, like, he's somebody's closer.
Yeah.
Like he's, so if Adrian Morejon said he was going to take 5 and 70, he's 20. He's going to be 27, I think, or he just turned 27. Yeah. That's unbelievable. Yeah. Like that he's 27 years old. He is on his way to being the best left-handed reliever in baseball. You could argue that he is now. He's probably not, but he's on his way. And so, yeah, love that. You mentioned Joe Musgrove, so I won't go there because I was going to say 120 innings just because I believe very strongly in Joe, even though right now there's just no way to tell. But I believe very strongly in Joe. But no, my bold prediction is that Mason Miller goes 40 for 40 and saves.
Ooh, love that.
I realize how ridiculous that is. I do.
It's doable.
He's just nasty. That slider, I mean, and obviously the velocity goes without saying. I think, yeah. So I decided to go 40 for 40, not 30 for 30 or 32 for 32. I went 40 for 40.
If he goes 40 for 40,
reliever Cy Young vibes.
Real quick, if he goes 40 for 40, I think my first reaction is going to say, why did he only close 40 games? Potentially. Right, like that's the one. I had this conversation earlier in the week, actually, on the radio that, he's never thrown more than 60 appearances. He's never had more than 60 appearances. Now he's had a short career. He had rookie year, then 2 full years, basically. He's never been a good team until the last 2 months, right, of last year. But look at how the Padres were using relievers last year, Kevin. I think some guys were on pace to throw more than 80 games. I don't know who led them, but Jason Adam had an injury. Mm-hmm. I'd have to look, right? But they had some guys pushing it in terms of games or appearances, but he's under contract multiple years. How willing will they be? Again, typically closers at some point you're going to go 3 straight or 4 in 5. That's basically what you're asking a closer to do at some point. But, and obviously in the postseason, although there's more built-in off days, how many appearances would he make if he's just dominant?
They have Adrian. You're going to have Jason Adam, right? Let's say Estrada takes a step. Take a look at Estrada's numbers minus the Dodgers and Coors Field last year. Yeah. It's insane. And look, Estrada, Rajle Rodriguez, Morgan, they struggled a little bit with their command. Their numbers were great in the spring, but they've got some work to do. But they have such a construction and they're going to lean on that bullpen so heavily. I really do think they're going to make and this is a silly thing to say because they always are going to, and especially Ruben Niebla's been great at it. Mike Schilt was great at it. Craig Stammen, a former reliever, is going to be great at it. They're going to be very careful with these relievers and in particular their high leverage arms.
Yeah. As they should be. I mean, there's no other option. I mean, the other side of that is very problematic.
It's not going to be 21 again. Craig Stammen, not that it would be anyway, but Craig Stammen was a part of 2021. When anyone who followed the team knew, I didn't know it was going to crater, but anyone who followed the team that when they were 10 games or 17 games over 500 on August 10th knew that they were in trouble. I mean, Craig Stammen said it the other day, and he was only slightly exaggerating. He was in the rotation and available the other 4 days. He was open, meaning he was opening. They were doing 2-3 bullpen games a week. You remember who was pitching for them at the end of the year. Well, actually, Jake Arrieta didn't make it, but Vince Velasquez. It was just a cast of characters. So Craig Stammen is going to, I think, and the consensus from other managers and people in baseball, he's going to do a fantastic job with his bullpen.
I was at a Jake Arrieta startup in the Bay. That was that was a tough one to walk out with Padres gear on, because that was the year that 2021, the super fluke Giants year, where somehow all of their batters hit 25 home runs, and now Brandon Crawford,
like 100,
all these guys
7 games
next year they're out of baseball. Something was up.
Yeah. And what was the Padres? We can move on to who we think are the real threats of the National League for a handful of minutes. But what was their worst slide in that 2021 dip? What was it? It was something absurd, right, Kevin? Where they're 4-36.
It was so bad.
Awful.
It was the 4th worst. I've written it so many times I can't believe I can't remember it. It was the 4th worst collapse in history. One of the teams that collapsed worst does not exist anymore. It was like the New York Anteaters in the 1880s or something. It was bad.
Oh man, I remember. I forget what lost, but we lost. I think we lost to the Cardinals one game, and that was the game that ended it. And I just remember walking around. What did you say, John?
The Manny and Toddy fight was in St. Louis that year. And that's when the Cardinals under Schilt rattled off 20 out of 21 or something.
That was a tough year. That was a tough
great
year looking back. But that's, like you said earlier, John and Kevin, on this show, that's what you got to love about Padres baseball, man. There's certain teams that going into this season, this year, the Angels, it's going to be a tough year, right? The Dodgers, you're going to win a lot of games. There's certain teams where you kind of know what's going on, right? The Pods are fun because you really don't know. It's like watching a show where you don't know the ending. If you know the ending every year, if you're a Dodgers fan and we're going to make the playoffs every year, is it really that fun in the regular season? If you're the Angels and you're not probably going to make the playoffs, is it really that fun? The Padres, the ebbs and flows. That's why people turn into Padres Collective. Make sure to hit a like on the stream. I got you, John. But that's
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I think you would have a lot of fun with your being a Dodger fan. If you try, I know it. You can't even fathom it.
Try it, man.
because you'd also be extremely obnoxious and wouldn't really follow the team until October. But I think it'd be pretty fun to look every day and go, oh yeah, we won again. And
I made a joke to my buddies who are Dodgers fans, and I'm like, it must suck that you won the last going into the season, because anything but winning the World Series is a disappointment. And he's like, it really doesn't suck. He's like,
everyone else can kind of say it sucks.
If we won the World Series this year, it'd be the biggest deal of all time. The Dodgers expect it, and I'm like, does it suck having high expectations? And they literally looked at me and they said no. And so I learned my lesson there with saying.